Hello, today we're going to talk about how to create questions, add them to Moodle, to create a question bank that I can draw from to add to quizzes that I can create later. The first thing I'd like to do is go to the admin block, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the word questions. Here is my question bank. Now you can see that I have some different options here. I have a list of questions I previously made, and then when I make questions I have the ability to put them in different categories. So right now it's displaying all the questions in this course, but I'm going to go ahead and look at just the trivia quiz category. And I made that category by clicking on the Categories tab, and then filling in the information in the Add Category area, giving it a name, and then I clicked Add Category. And what that did was created for me a category called Trivia Quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my Questions tab, and I'm looking at my Trivia Quiz category, and I can see I've got a list of questions, and I'm going to go ahead and add a new question. And so in the drop-down area, in the Create New Question, where it says Choose, I'm going to click that drop-down. I'm going to go ahead and add a true or false question. But you can see you've got lots of options here for all sorts of different question types. A question name is a short description of what the question is. So I'm going to call this one Bananas because I'm doing a healthy eating trivia question. And then my question text is actually what the question is going to say in the quiz in Moodle. Okay, bananas are a great source of potassium. Is this true or false? So I'm going to go ahead and come down here a little bit. The default question grade, it's worth 1 point. You can change that here if you'd like. I'm going to leave the general feedback area blank. This would be feedback displayed to the student whether or not they got the question correct. It's not required. I'm going to go ahead and move down. Of course, the correct answer to that question is true, so I need to change the correct answer to true. And when the student gets it correct, if they select true, I'm going to put some feedback in a box for them here that will be displayed to them when they take the quiz. And then a little bit of feedback if the student chooses false. Of course, this could be an area where you put in where they should study next time, where should they look, where they can review. But this isn't very in-depth for this little example I'm showing you guys today. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes. So now what you can see is my latest question that I've created is highlighted in green. The question name is called Bananas. And then I've got some little buttons next to the question that I can use to modify the question later. I've got Preview, so when I click that, I can see what it will look like in the quiz. Here's the question and the true and false buttons to click. Go ahead and exit out of that window. I can delete it. I can also move it to another context, which is saying basically that I can move it to a different category if I want to. And then edit. And this is really important. This is just going to take you back to where we were, to all those first options we had. So if I wanted to change the name of the question or the text or anything about it, that's what I click. So I'm back in my question bank now, and I also want to point out that the questions are organized in alphabetical order by question type. So that's how those are organized. So these types, these symbols mean different things. So these are essay questions, and these are multiple choices, and these are true and false questions. I can click also show old questions if I had made a question previously and deleted it and decided I wanted it back. And then I would have the ability, I'll show you what that looks like. We'll go ahead and look at all our questions. Also show those old questions. So they're grayed out right now, but then you'll notice I have a different icon next to these called restore, and I could actually bring a question back that I've deleted from a previous time. I'm going ahead and uncheck that. Also show old questions since I don't need them anymore. Go back to our trivia quiz. The next thing you'll want to do is basically just keep adding questions, build up your question bank. And then what we're going to do in our next video, I'm going to show you that when I go back to my main shell, we're going to add a quizzes activity that we're going to put those questions into that we just made.